The Morgan Report with David Morgan.
David Morgan with you with the weekly perspective for the week ending 27 March 2020. Well, before I get started, I just want to be real brief here on the Morgan Report. It's at themorganreport.com. I think most of you know that. And if you come over here to the right side, put in a name and an email, hit the join our free newsletter, you'll get on our list and you will get weekly updates, interviews, webinars, and a lot of other things. But what I want to show you right now is the blog. So if you come over here to the top section here for navigation and you do the pull down menu and you hit blog, you will come to the blog. And this is where you should check at least once a week, but preferably probably 2 or 3 times a week. Everything, this is kind of the classics up here at the top. You just scroll down slightly, you will get the recent posts. That is this weekly perspective and many other interviews I do during the week. Usually there's like 3 or 4 things per week every week. But I want to draw your attention over here, right here to this area. This is right now and has been for a long time the best place to buy silver and gold close to spot price. So you come to the blog as I showed you, and this feature right here will help you immensely. So once you click it, you get to this area here. You can buy gold at spot or near spot. You really can't at spot. I should my webmaster change that, but it's very close. And there's a savings planning due each month. You can take delivery at any time. And the other one basically is if you want to make a one-time purchase, you can do that as well. So it's pretty easy to just get started. You come over here and you will get to this point. And then if you're not already signed up, you start right there. You click that, you give them an email, you make up a username and a password, you confirm the password. Referral code, that'd be great if you used it. It's 3DI78, but you don't have to. Then you click the terms and conditions and you create an account. So if you want to refer me, which won't hurt you because I will be sending out some metal cards to everybody at some point in time once silver prices do a lot better and I'm ready to throw a big party here in Spokane, but that shouldn't be your main reason for signing up. But anyway, it is 3DI78 regardless, so you do all that and you hit the create account. It's only available, unfortunately, for U.S. and Canadians. That's it at this point. So enough of that. Let's move on to the news. So I'm just going to read some headlines today, and then I'm going to do something, a bit of a special feature, and I hope you all like it. On the headlines, this one just really irks me, but anyway, Jeff Bezos, world's richest man, wants your donations to help Amazon employees. Isn't that sweet? Under that is another headline. Bezos and other corporate execs sold billions in stock before the COVID-19 rocketed the market to the downside. Korea hurls more cash at the economic crisis relief. IMF and World Bank call for suspending debt payments by poorest nations. Coronavirus crisis could destroy far more than 25 million jobs. Caterpillar withdraws 2020 outlook, suspends some operations. Gold coins have never sold at a premium this high for so long. This is from Bloomberg. I'm not going to read the article, just proving it exists. Pretty small article. Goes back to the beginning of this. You can buy both gold and silver from that precious metal savings that I just showed you at the beginning. One more I'll show you, and then I'm going to go into my little special feature. This is again from Bloomberg and Market News. Oil 60% crash is the tip of an iceberg. The reality is worse. As oil crashes due to the impact of coronavirus, it's easy to overlook an even more dismal reality for producers. The real price they're getting for their barrels are worse still. Brent West Texas Intermediate crude have stabilized around $25 a barrel, but the far deeper for actual cargoes which are changing hands are large and widening discounts for the global benchmarks. The discount means that in the physical market, some crude streams are trading at $15, $10, and as little as $8 a barrel. Watching the oil market carefully, I think there will be a buying point, probably like in the stock market, but I think it's best to stand aside for now. What I'd like to do now is I'm going to call a special feature on this weekly perspective. This is something that I don't hear very many ever talk about, and I will. And it's not about me, it's about the principles. So one thing that we're constantly bombarded with is the national debt. And certainly on almost every interview I've given, I talk about the debt situation. The part that really isn't talked about very much is what the banker's attitude is. The bankers know that the principal will never be paid off, and they really don't expect it to be paid off because they know what I'm about to show you. All they want is the debt, which means control. Remember, if you buy into my basic premise, which I've talked about for years, the basic premise is money is power. And if you have the money or you create the money, you have basically all the power. So you have the power to control the oil market, the gold market, the world economy, nation states, dictators, Congress critters, you name it. Because most people can be bought, unfortunately. But the point is, regardless if people can be bought or not, the point is money is power. So if you buy that premise, then really if you make it out of nothing, which has been the case for quite some time, then you can create ultimate power for basically next to nothing, and you have a lot of control. And most of these power junkies are not about the money anymore. It's about the control. So if they have a nation state indebted to them, like the United States, at several $1 trillion officially, and even double that if you take in what Austin Fitts and Professor Skidmore have proven about how much real money has been borrowed by the U.S. government on behalf of the citizenry without their consent, basically, you have a situation that's ridiculous. But bankers know that compound interest, although it may be considered by Warren Buffett and others to be the eighth wonder of the world, really is an impossibility. It can't last forever, and it doesn't. And so once these countries are indebted, or you're indebted by your mortgage or your car payment, the compounding on 7 years, 30 years, or whatever is conceivable, doable, happens, it can be done. But it can't go on forever, and this is an example right here, as you're seeing on the screen, and you've probably been reading while I've been talking. A penny compounded at 2% since the year Christ was born would now be worth 218 trillion. The dollar is doomed. If you took a penny at the time of Christ and compounded it at a nominal 2% a year, that penny would be worth 2.18 times 10 to the 17th, or nearly 2.2 trillion. Naturally, this is more than all the money on the planetary surface by several orders of magnitude. So these bankers know it. So they really know that the principal will never be paid off. The game ends when you can't afford the interest on the principal, which is basically where we're headed in the United States, and many countries are there already. And this is game over. And we're there. We're actually at game over. Now, what is the new system going to look like? No one knows exactly. In last month's issue of the Morgan Report, I went into pretty good detail about moving to a cashless system and a digital currency. And Mr. Mark Carney had a lot to say about it, which I quoted during that interview and published in the Morgan Report. And if you think it's gold back, his wish that he was extolling at the UN and other places, Jackson Hole, was absolutely backed by 100% nothing. Nothing at all. Make it digital, worth absolutely zero. We just keep the control, making sure everyone is in line with us, and that's the way that we, the almighty bankers, want it to be. So I hope I made my point. I don't leave the comments open anymore. I have a couple girls in the Philippines that go through the comments that I do get on other social media, but regardless, I don't have time. And so you can let me know when you see me at a gold show or whatever you like this format. So this is one other one I want to bring to your attention. And this is, of course, on the 19th. I'm doing this on the 27th, as I said. But I want you to pay particular attention to right here on who's down. You know, I mean, oil and gas at this time was off 74%. I'll call it 75. You look at mortgages, You can look at marine shipping. You can look at life insurance. I mean, this is down 75%. Life insurance is off 40%. Uranium is off 31%. Gold is off 25%. It's probably better than that right now as I'm doing this video, but these are down the least. And what's after gold? Pretty interesting. Trucking, well, things still have to move. Medical distribution, that makes sense in the situation. Household and personal products, yeah, everyone's getting food and toilet paper. Farm products, discount stores, grocery stores, utilities, and personal services. I'm not sure exactly all of that, but so all these basically are necessities. I mean, you're talking about food, utilities, and getting food to you. And so gold is definitely doing similar to what happened in 2008, which means it's gone down, but it's gone down the least. And again, I think if we did this on the 27th, we'd probably be more into this area. So it's definitely, as far as I'm concerned, doing its job of protecting wealth. And yes, it is down, but actually it's up as I'm doing this video. I haven't checked the price today. Sorry, I've been inundated with other things. I will check later. And of course, silver has hit a all-time high in the gold-silver ratio, the highest amount of silver to buy an ounce of gold in all of recorded history. Over 5,500 years, it's never gone over 100, and now it's been beyond 120. And that ratio, I think, will be coming down. And I'll have a lot to say about that in the next issue of the Morgan Report, which I'll be doing. And actually, the miners have been clobbered as well, but they're still showing relative strength relative to the overall market, which is all of this stuff and all of this stuff and all of this stuff. So I'm not saying it's the time to jump into miners. I'm going to be discussing that as well in the next issue of the Morgan Report. And if you're not an active investor, certainly please stay on the free newsletter. You get updates like this every week, and the interviews I do during the week, and the webinars I try to do at least once a month. And if you would spread it off on your social media, it would be a help to me personally, because it does take my time, my energy, and my thought processes to do this for free every week. And I do it because I want everyone to wake up and be alert, be alive, and realize how this whole system is as a rigged system, how it's based on a lie. You can't get something for nothing. And the people at the top, the banking elite, are running a control mechanism on humanity. And I think it's about time that we all realize that we have the power, not them. And things are going to continue to get more and more interesting. So I'll leave you with that. Always remember, the truth is the most powerful thing. Telling the truth in times like this is always important. At any time it's important. And I'll be back with you next week to revisit some of these ideas.